All right, we are live. So, I haven't done many streams lately. Been trying to focus on myself as far as my trading goes, not worry about streaming and stuff like that. I'm gonna try something new starting right now. Gonna try to do a weekly outlook stream. And this is going to be the first of them. So I'll see if it's valuable. I was just thinking of a way that I could keep myself accountable and review, for my learning journey. So I feel like YouTube's the easiest way to do that. Just have a video out there forever. I can always go back to it and see my progress, see where I was wrong, where I was right, and adjust. So what I'm gonna do, I've been trading both the ES and the NQ lately, so I'm gonna go through both and we're gonna just try to frame the week. I feel like I've been making a mistake lately where I've been keeping a lot of stuff on the chart for a long time, and leads to a little bit of complacency, so yeah, doing the weekly thing. What I'm gonna do is just clear everything, wipe everything, start clean, and try to frame what the week might look like. So that's a goal here tonight. Let me pull up the economic calendar as well. That might be important. I believe we have NFP this week. Non-farm payrolls, and we do. So I was looking at someone else's write-up on this. We do have the Euro CPI number. I'm only looking at 3-star events. That's all I really give a shit about. The other ones don't matter generally. Maybe a little bit of liquidity injection, but the 3-folder ones, or 3-folder for 3-star ones, are the ones you should, that I care about. I don't know what you should care about. You care about whatever you want to care about. Okay, so the only thing that really stands out is non-farm payrolls. Thursday we have some other mess, but it's the day before non-farm payroll. I mean, it seems like end of week is going to be where the expansion happens, so we'll probably just have this in our mind, right? Like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday could be a little bit of a retracement or consolidation, and maybe we get a move on Thursday and Friday if a move is going to happen. But let's look at the charts. We'll start with the ES. We're going to start from the weekly and go down, mark out some stuff we're looking at. So one big thing, we've been in this really crazy bullish move since March, really. Remember, these candles are weekly candles. Each candle is 1 week. So you'll see here we had a really crazy expansion in May. A little bit of, this is really just order block coming out, tapping into, and starting another expansion. Now, do we continue that expansion this week? Or do we come back maybe into this like fair value gap here, this weekly fair value gap? Yeah, I think that is something to look at for sure. One thing I was looking at last week was this gap over here, and you'll see, I'm just gonna say imbalance. You'll see we did poke out of that, but it ended up respecting this gap. So that to me seems like it could be a potential to maybe come back into this one, into this weekly order block. So what I'm gonna do I don't know if I really care about that imbalance as much. I'm gonna mark gap top there, and we can mark gap bottom as well. We'll just need to know what that is. Whoa, why is my gap bottom yellow? It's completely different from my gap top. I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna make it exactly the same. Gap bottom. Got too many templates. I gotta clean that up at some point, but yeah, mark that out. So just good to, I mean, I don't think it really is gonna matter that much. The thing I really would want to look out for, if we do come back down, I think I want to look for it to maybe hit this original order block. This is really, I mean, I don't think it should, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it. We're going to mark this out. This is a big level. Put weekly IATH intermediate term high. I'm just going to say weekly BSL and change that. Okay, so that's weekly buy side liquidity. So that's a big level to look for. I mean, I think this expansion is reaching for that. Let's think of what else it could be, right? Now we have this choppiness over here. You see how there's all these gaps? It's because we're on the ESU. That what really didn't get traded until like around here, I think. I forget when the switchover was, but I think it was sometime in May. Maybe it was June. July, August, September. Yeah, I think it was June. Either way, that's why it's sort of weird looking. But we do have some sort of order block here, right? From the first big drop that happened, well, hell, that was almost 2 years ago. Holy shit. That's crazy, huh? That's fucking crazy to think about. That was December 21. Damn. We've been down here in this muck for over a year. All right. So if we want to talk order blocks, I mean, this is tough. But let's see what the midpoint, I mean, yeah, we could say we're reacting off that order block. It's also the gap top. Reaction back down wouldn't be super shocking, right? We already started it a little bit last week, but let's get into some other time frames here. I don't think there's going to be anything else to learn off that weekly chart. So let's drop down to the daily. Now, as you can see from the daily, that's that consolidation range. On the weekly, oh shit, it was actually, no, is this, right? Yeah. That was that, right? This mess. And that really kicked off. I mean, honestly, this sweep here, this kicked off the move, right? This is where we put in the shift, taking out this high. That's where we really put in the shift on the daily back to a bullish. I guess you could probably pull something from October, but yeah, I mean, it's hard to read that back then. Um, I would say we sort of cemented it here, and it did a big accumulation, and it finally made the push up here. We've gotten to this gap, this weekly gap, traded all the way through it. Tried to expand further, dropped down, took lows, came back up. So I'm trying to think what would be most likely on the daily. Let's think about the weekly. If the weekly were to flatten out or maybe come down a little bit, wouldn't be super surprising. If it were to come down all the way here, that would be a little surprising. To come all the way back down, like if it could get through these order blocks, what it would have to do, I think, is make a swing high without doing that. It could come down here, but I don't think it busts through this. I mean, that's a fucking huge move. Obviously, that's super unlikely. Where would be that low? I guess we could mark that out. Right, this is a weekly low. Swing low. It's a pretty big deal. We could take off this weekly ICT. I don't know what the hell I was doing with that. Weekly SSL. I'll save this one too. Okay. Oh, WBSL, WSSL, I guess I should call it. Okay. Delete that. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is our... I said I was done on this, but obviously I'm not. There's one other thing I want to mark out here too. Let's do the body of this candle as a plus OB. Should have a reaction from this, I think. Now the only thing about this is this is really the order block, huh? So let's put it here. It's good to be aware of this, but this is really the order block, I think. Now let's go back to the daily and see where that weekly SSL. Okay, so that's where we want to put it, the plus OB. And this would be, I mean, it's all the way within that order block. If you go wick to wick, this entire thing is within this entire order block, unless you want to say this is actually the order block, which I don't hate. So we did have an upturn candle there. It's right around the 50% line here. I'm gonna do body only. Dude, it's so close. Holy shit. If I do wick, it's a little further off. That's really interesting. That's a huge thing. Either way, like I was saying, for it to actually sweep this SSL down here, I believe we would want to make a swing high and then like sweep it, and then it could crash down and take some like big swing liquidity. If it doesn't do that, I believe it would just want to take some liquidity in the form of like this fair value gap here, digging into order blocks. Could Could you say this is a propulsion block? I don't know. I'm not an expert on that, to be honest. This is what I'm gonna have marked out. We'll stick with the daily for the order block. You see how we reacted off that, right? This is the order block. This range. Could you say it's this range? Maybe. Either way, we reacted off it pretty heavily. Let's see what it does here. If it comes up and sweeps this again, I just don't see that as being super duper likely, right? Sweeping this high. I think we would have to see some downside here. It could be just as much as... No, I mean, I think... It's tough. We could just accumulate as well. It's tough. It's a tough call. I believe this weekly in BSL is safe for at least another couple weeks, if I were to guess. On the daily. On the daily. Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty important level here to sweep. That's definitely a target. It's definitely a target. One day, sell side there. Oh, why is this? Ugh. Top left, middle, no, right. Man. I had my templates all fucked up, didn't I? Alright. One day SSL, weekly SSL. I think at this point, with the way we had this swing high and then came up and swept that, which also closed out the gap, the weekly gap, I believe what we have to do next is sweep this swing low at the very least and potentially come. I'm just trying to picture this in my head, what it would look like. Now, like I mentioned earlier, the economic calendar plays a part. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, not much going on. Thursday and Friday. So, if we are to expand further up, I think Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday would want to be not aggressive into getting down into that swing low and then set up some sort of we wouldn't be able to set up a swing high. Well, we'll keep watching that for sure. I mean, ranging does seem like a possibility. If we take this, we're gonna take this just to just to see premium and discount. Not that, what can I put on here to see premium and discount? There's some tool. Shit, I'm gonna have to figure that out. Price range. Wonder if I do a rectangle. So we have the swing low, we have the swing high. No. What we want is the swing high to that swing low. So we're to mark the midpoint. No. Damn. Really want to see. Okay. I'll figure that out later. I want to see the premium and discount line. And I guess what we could do is just use a fib with a CE. Like that. So this is a possibility as well, that we're just gonna sort of bounce around back and forth on this premium discount line here. But yeah, I'm looking for downside targets, to be honest. I think this is OBS Studio. What's up, man? Why'd you disconnect me? Shit. All right. Yeah. I believe this is safe. But we're going to mark it out. 1 day BSL. I want to see it come down here at the very least. I think yeah, with the way that swept, that's what I want to see. I want to see how it does that, and if it could expand down on the daily and through these swing lows with some with a gap. That would be juicy for a longer run, right? But like I was saying on the weekly, I think we really want to see a sweep before an expansion. A sweep of a very recent swing, right? So let's take a look at like an example of that. So this would be an example. We generated this swing low down here, December 22. Came up, didn't sweep. This is important. It closed above. Then it came down here and it swept. And that led to this current expansion. Coming down here to take this low. Came down, tried, and then pushed up. So it's just way too early to tell. It's way too early to call a top, right? Like that's basically the point. And say that we're going to make a deeper run. I think that's very unrealistic. I think we have weeks before we would see something like that. And I think we would get here before we make a deeper run. So I'm looking mainly for a retracement. Just a slight retracement for the beginning of the week, or yeah. Yeah, that's what we want to look for. 4 hour confirms that pretty much. Let's talk about the 4 hour. So clearly we've been on this bull run. Notice in this retracement, remember that from last month where it came down and it never made any significant effort to go low, right? And as soon as it swept these lows and tapped on that order block there, we which is interesting. That was the order block, huh? But dug into this fair value gap. That's when it made a very nice expansion move. It's on the 4 hour, remember? Dug into that a little bit. Came back. Sucked this low? No, did not. Just came into the order block from the next expansion move for the current expansion move. We've been chopping around a little bit. Didn't take. Took. Strong reaction off that. Breaking swing low. Through. Closed through it. And kept this open underneath it. Or closed this next one underneath it as well. So we're in a bit of a retrace from that move. It did sweep these lows. This is tough. This is a tough call. It's very much not straightforward. But we didn't make any significant setup and break back on structure here. The swing high that it created was just swept, and that was it. And that literally just happened. So I think we come back down to these levels for sure. Like for sure. I'm pretty confident on that. We're gonna call this 1 hour SSL. It's gonna be 4 hour, 1 hour. Now, that one could be safe. I don't think so, though. I don't think so. I think we get down there. Because of this, the way it did this, swing high, and then sweep, and started coming inside of fair value gap from a failed expansion through the gap, the weekly gap, right? Tried to expand through it, harshly rejected, through a swing low, closed, came up, had a little bit of a swing high, tried again, and we're down. And this didn't do any shift back at all, in my opinion. I mean, this is once again, this is for educational purposes. I'm not 100% on any of this stuff, you know. This is for my learning, but this is how I see it. The sweep of the lows was strong. I mean, that's a strong reaction as well, but not the same as that, right? Like this 2 4-hour candles that smashed down from generating this push up, right? That's a lot. That's displacement. Let's look at the fib here. I want to see where we are as far as like OTE. It's called Casper 7 a.m. He's Casper's 7 a.m. displacement, 15-minute displacement model. But it's got OTE listed here, the 0.62, and it's also got the quote-unquote golden range. There's some streamer that came up with that. Thought it was pretty good. We've come into that. I mean, this is looking pretty perfect as far as setting up the next move. Now, the next move lower, like we talked about on the weekly, coming back aggressively down into here would be fine. Right? Down into here. Here should be safe. Right? We should react off this structure, all of this stuff. This order block right here. Strong. That should be strong as fuck. That should be very strong. And I'm actually going to... I'm gonna mark that one out. I wanna mark the top because I like to see. I like to just use it as a like reminder, like, hey, we're coming into the order block, right? A lot of times it digs into it quite a bit, even violating the midpoint with a wick. But look how that aligns with the fair value gap, right? The fair value gap showing the displacement, right? That's why we care about the fair value gaps. It's showing the displacement, and if you look at this, I mean, that's really just one straight up move. We got a little bit of hesitancy there, but that's a pretty strong straight up move, clearing lots of stuff. So this is our shift back down that we're gonna gauge the strength of this shift, potential shift that we're looking for, to see if we create some displacement here. Gonna have some reaction off this, maybe come back into that, but ultimately I want to see it come back down into here, and I want to see what it would do from that. All right, might not get to the NAS tonight. I always go fucking long, man. I can't help myself. I thought, oh man, I'm gonna take, a half hour and get a narrative for the week on the half hour I can do ES and NQ. Yeah, right. I'm gonna finish ES in an hour probably. I mean, that's basically all I want to look at as a 4 hour though. And the 1 hour is gonna show us about the same thing. Yeah, it's a little more little more noise. It's not really noise, but that 4 hour order block here, which we had a really, really sweet trade off of on Friday. Digging into this order block. Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to think of terminology here. What's really interesting on the 1 hour, let's bounce back to the 4 hour. If we go wick to wick, the 50% line was violated there. If we go body to body with the full range, it was violated as well. If you look at the 1 hour, I'm trying to look at this order block. I'm definitely no expert on order blocks, so I'm really trying to learn how to use those more properly. And this is the only thing. There's a couple things here, guys. There's a couple things here. We have like a BPR, aka inversion fair value gap here. Right. Let's call it imbalance. We busted through right here. Came up, actually reacted on it here and then busted through. It's actually respecting that pretty well here. It's on the 1 hour. Yeah, I like the respect of that. Dude, hit to the tick on the 50% line of that quote unquote order block there. Yeah, I mean that was a beautiful trade that we had set up here to take this. I believe it was this low. It was New York AM session low. Yeah, 1 hour is just confirming our thought process here. Smashing through this swing low is what we'd want to see next. We'd want to see it violate the 50% line of that wick. I don't think any of these matter. This fair value gap here on the swing high, that one might matter, and it might matter in the sense that we get a good strong push through here, and then we sort of react in here and come back a little bit, you know. Man, I see people always drawing shit. I'm not the best at that yet. But let's see. People always draw shit like this. You know, oh, we're gonna have an expansion down here, and then it's gonna. Oh, damn, dude. See how bad I suck at this. Then I want to see it. You know, it created a fucking fair value gap. Come back here. And then bust. I want it to bust through that for sure. And then dig into that. Sweep this. Yep. So, this probably seems pretty drastic. That's a general idea. Now, 15-minute, you'll see I have some more indicators when it comes down to these lower time frames. This is, you know, I'm using 15-minute and 5-minute when I'm trading generally. This is what I'm looking for session sweeps a lot of times. You'll see here that we had one. If I would have noticed, I only trade during very, very short windows of time, the silver bullet times, usually some stuff outside of there too. But I mean, this is exactly what I look for when I'm looking for section sweeps. We had a sweep of those two, and then we put in, I mean, this is really it. If you go to 5-minute, there is a very cool setup. Sweep, displace. So I'm usually looking for, when I'm looking for a displacement, I'm generally looking for a displacement through a swing low, unless it's something like this. It's a displacement backed through a session high or low. That's fucking golden too. And then what I would do for an entry off here, I would draw the fib and go to the 0.62. Oh my god, dude. Look how fucking beautiful that would have been. Fair value gap 0.62 from sweeping a session and putting in displacement. I mean, that's currently my the model I'm working on. What I would do here, okay, I'm getting into something that isn't the intention of this this stream, but what I would have targeted here would probably be the top of the gap, this new week opening gap. Now we can mark out new week opening gap. That's the whole reason why I came down to 15-minute in the first place, is to potentially mark out a new week opening gap. I used to do this for every new week opening gap. I now am just going to do it when I feel like it's going to be like a rangy type of day, because week, because a lot of times it is sort of like a magnet when we're talking about a consolidation week. So we'll mark that out just in case. If not, you know, I think session lows and highs, especially when there's swing lows, swing highs. See the swing low here, taken out, push up. I mean, this is just fucking, this is turtle soup heaven right here. Look at that sweep. Beautiful. Coming back to the order block. Beautiful. Yeah, so we'll put that on there. And then we would target not new week opening gaps, right? So when I first learned new week opening gaps, a lot of times what I was doing is targeting, oh, we're going to go from this new week opening gap to the next one, to the next one. Let's target those. Let's target those. Yeah, it could. I think it's very rare. So I'd rather look at things like this swing low. That's ripe for the picking. Excuse me. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at. This is a really great sweep here. Yeah, I mean, this is looking really good for some downside. Now it's going to be doing downside overnight. I would fully expect it to take New York PMs by the time I wake up in the morning. I'm not going to do NQ because I am already going past how long I wanted to be on here. So I'll try to plan a little better next time. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you're watching, it will probably just be future me watching. So future me, I hope you're doing good. I hope you're looking at this video to say, man, look how dumb I was back then. I had some fundamentals, but I was missing this one thing. And I hope you're doing really great. But yeah, no, I think this will be very valuable. I was doing this more in the beginning, and I felt like I had a lot better feel of the market in the beginning. I've gotten away from that recently, so it's time to get back to it. Time to get back to work on that. Putting in less hours studying the source material. I still do that. Probably every other day I'll watch some kind of video. But I think more reviewing the chart and trying to apply what I learned is the goal, you know. Equal highs here. You think we're gonna go up and get those? I don't think so. I think we're going down here. Anyway, good luck this upcoming week. Beware of non-farm payroll Friday. Don't let it surprise you. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Bye.